Today I am coming to you from the frozen tundra that is South Carolina. There's no yarn today, and I'm sorry. There is sewing and there is snow. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm up to, come along with me. Grab a project, grab a drink, and hang out with me for a few minutes. Welcome to my channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this. I'm glad that you took a minute out of your schedule to hang out with me, whether you are a returning viewer or you're a new viewer. It means a lot to me that y'all take the time that you do to be here. Now, as I said, it is a little dreary outside. We'll probably get some sunshine in the next day or two, but right now it's just cloudy, and every now and again you'll see a few flurries of snow. We got a good bit already, but you know, we'll see how this shakes out going into the beginning of the week. It'll probably get one day of slightly above freezing, and it'll all melt. So for now it's a tundra, kind of, sort of, maybe. I mean, it is what it is, right? Snow in the South. Amazing. And since it is so outside, I have to have some caffeine because I'm so tired. Only thing I want to do is sit in my chair, knit, crochet, because there's so many things I got going on. I'll talk about that in a minute, but first I did want to tell y'all I have been sewing all morning. I had a custom bag order, and then I have these custom tote orders that I'm trying to get filled, even though it's taken me forever. But since I got Beth Ann's out of the way, and Beth Ann, bless her heart, she was waiting the longest. You just don't know how much y'all support and patience with me as far as these totes. It means a lot. So, the first one I did, and y'all, you've seen this color before. It's the yarn balls with the mint green. Now, I still have more of this fabric if anybody else wants any. I love this. And I can do it in other top and bottom colors if you're not a big fan of the mint green. I have blue, I have yellow. I don't know if yellow would be a great option, but I have it. I have green, I have a deeper green, and I have, honestly, I have a teal that's similar to that. So that actually might work too. I have pink, I have red, hot pink, you know, pretty much any color that you would want to put with this, I have it. So if you want it, you let me know. I haven't done that bag in a minute, and it was nice. I miss that. And I know that's weird because most of us crafters, we like playing with a certain yarn or a certain fiber content, you know, or a certain a certain color. But I also, that goes over into my sewing, whether it's bags or sewing clothes. I am working on another dress for me in the lovely fabric that Tina sent me. And that was my purple butterflies was supposed to be my next dress, but Tina sent me this, and I want to get one made because, you know, she was thinking about me, and I like the fabric, so I definitely want to get that made. And the pattern has been cut. The material has been sized up to make sure I have enough. The next thing is, only thing I need to do is pin the pattern, because I have to pin the pattern to the fabric in a certain way to make sure I get all of my pieces. So, but yeah, I'm the same way with fabric, whether it's a design, a type of fabric, kind of like a feel, a textile feel, like with the yarn and stuff. So it's always a fun thing. It is, gosh, dog, it's only 2:30. This is what happens when you wake up before the crack of dawn. You're ready to go to bed by 5 o'clock. So it's already late for me. Okay, so another order is this Amazing Grace bag. And I've already made the matching bowl cozies and sent it out. That was all made before my health issue. And to where I actually hear my chimes. I haven't heard those things in 2 or 3 days. But I really love the way this stabilizer is working. And I think I like this stabilizer better than the foam stabilizer. Because it's not as heavy, for one. I do like the poofiness of the foam stabilizer, but I don't like sewing with it. So I did have some before all of this happened. I did make some size to make me a Georgia little purse. And I might try to do a couple test pieces with some cloth and everything to see if I can push it through my machine so that I can finally make my purse. My husband got me a Georgia wallet for Christmas because my Georgia wallet wore out about 2-3 years ago. But I have one of these finished. Now, like I said, I've already made and sent the matching cozies for that. So that was a relief to actually have those to the recipient. Now, this one right here was one I showed y'all the other day, but I had not finished it. Now it is finished, all ready to go. This is for, Loretta, I did email you back. So if you haven't checked your emails, check your emails about this tote, okay? And if that's what you want, it will be waiting on you. If not, email me back and let me know, and I can put that one up for sale on the website, because the owl fabric is huge. Everybody loves the owl fabric. So if you'd like that pocket a little different, you let me know, okay? And that's it. I have spent my morning making all 3 of those things. Well, making the Amazing Grace and the yarn ball, and finishing the owl tote. Speaking of emails, Autumn, I emailed you too, because on your gingham, I didn't know if you'd want to stick with a black strap or if you would want to wait. I have ordered some purple straps. Actually, Laura and Autumn, y'all let me know if you would have, if you'd like to have the purple straps. If you want to wait until I get them in, I won't get them in. Supposedly, Amazon says Friday, February 8th. So, if you don't mind waiting, and if you would prefer to wait, I'll have those purples in, and I can kind of compare and lay them out and send you pictures. If you want black, just pop me an email, let me know, or pop me a comment down below, let me know that, and I can get them finished up, because the pockets are done. The only thing I'm waiting on is to sew the straps on, sew the bag together, sew the lining together, put the lining in, right? So just let me know, okay? That's all the yummy part that I had to show you. That was quick. I'm done. I'm kidding. Y'all, have y'all ever seen me do a video that quick? No, I didn't think so. Because I'm not... sorry. I've not ever done a video that short. Except for, I think when I was still working at Joann's before we closed. I think I did a little short in my car. It was like 5 minutes. With my hair all slicked back and in my little clip. And no, I'm not doing that today. Now I just have to remember what I was going to tell y'all. Do you remember? Come on, help me remember. Because I sure don't remember. Okay. Well. Alright. Maybe it'll come to me. So, I will say some other things that I wanted to talk to y'all about. See, I had gotten so used to pulling my arm up, my right hand automatically tried to help my left arm up. And my left arm is almost 100%. I am able to do a little bit of knitting like I used to with my pearls. So that is a blessing. Y'all will see more updates on that Wednesday. Because I'm going to do... Wednesday's going to be... No. It might, yeah. I think I'm going to combine... I said I wasn't going to combine the 12 cast ons for 2026 and my stash busting 2026 until I did all my cast ons. But you know what? I think I'm just going to start blending those two together as of this next video. I haven't filmed it yet. I have cast on everything. So everything was cast on before January 31st. I can say that. Even though Amazon was stressing me, Amazon and my kittens were stressing me out because I thought that very last project that I needed to cast on was not going to get cast on in time. But my needles arrived and the very last minute, the very last day. So I was able to get that last project cast on. Whew. And let me tell you, it was definitely fun. But that was yesterday. But I was really nervous that it was supposed to be here Friday. And it did get here Friday. Full transparency, it did get here Friday. But I didn't get home Friday until almost 6 p.m. Because I'm going to insert a picture here. Or here. One of these two places. One of them. Thursday, on the way home from the restaurant, my son was in front of me with my daughter-in-law and my grandson. And then my other son, me, and my husband were in my husband's truck behind them. We come pulling off of the interstate. And I see at the stop sign from the off-ramp, I see a truck with his hazards on. And I'm like, let's see if he needs help. If only, okay? And I'm still mad at this. Well, like I said, my son and daughter-in-law was in front of us, so they were talking to him. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know it until we had already. I mean, I figured, and when they pulled off, because they were sitting there for a minute, so I figured that they were talking to him and making sure that he didn't need help and whatnot. So when they pulled through and took a left, we did the same. And as I was passing him, I thought he was putting his hood down. I never saw his hood up, but it's almost 10. Well, no, it was almost 9 o'clock at night, so I'm half blind anyway. But he was messing with his grill or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's all right. So we take a left. Now we're going down, we're probably about 500 feet up behind my son, and my phone rings, and it's my daughter-in-law. And she's like, that guy just hit an owl. I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, yeah, but the owl's still alive. He just threw him on the side of the road. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, he broke his wing when he pulled him out of the grill. Because I heard it. I heard the bone break. And I'm like, okay. So my son was driving, because my husband, he doesn't do well driving at night either. So my son was driving my husband's truck, and I was like, son, can you turn around? He's like, Mom, I can't. I was like, okay. And he did have a good reason. Mother Nature was calling, so we had to get home. And so I told Kat, I was like, come get me. As soon as we get home, you come up here and get me. And we'll go back and get the owl. And we did. And she put her towel over the owl's head. And I took my towel and I went up under him to where I could hold his body in my hand. And I picked him up a little bit while her towel was still over his head. And I said, help me fix his wing, because it was his left wing. I said, what I want to do is get it back in position and put it to his body, and then I'll finish wrapping the towel around him, making a burrito of sorts. And I'll save you all the drama that happened after that. But needless to say, we bundled him up. He stayed up here with me until the next morning, and I was able to call a rescue. I was trying to get a rescue to come get him, but the only rescue that I could find that I saw took birds was up in Greenville, which is about 2 hours away from us. And she got back with me and she said, I can't, because I left a message and then I sent him a text message. She says, we can't come that far. You're too far. But Columbia has a place you can get help. I was like, I didn't think anybody took owls. And she's like, yeah. So she gave me the number and everything. So I called them, and they don't do pickups. So I had to run to Columbia. And it was so funny because I have taken possums to this place, and I think I had planned on taking a duck. But unfortunately, because a duck got hit about 6 years ago, a duck got hit in front of me, and the guy just kept going. And I stopped, and I helped the little duck, and I brought him home. And my husband kind of got upset at me a little bit because I brought the duck in the house. And unfortunately, the little duck didn't survive more than 2 hours, maybe an hour, 2 hours. But the next morning, the owl was still alive. And I have hopes. I can't call until Monday when you're seeing this. Tomorrow, I can't call for an update because they told me, give us 48 hours. But anyway, I had to it's the same place I took the possum and the place I was going to take the duck. But I never found out if they took birds or not because the duck didn't make it. So I listened to the recording, and they said they're open from 9 to 6 p.m. and do not wait on a call back. Bring the hurt or injured animal in when you can, but in those hours. They said, if you're at nighttime or whatnot, keep I thought I saw a spider. I thought I saw a spider crawling on my window. Okay, sorry. But anyway, the recording said, keep them warm and in a dark place, undisturbed as much as you can. So my daughter-in-law and I had put him in a cat carrier because you can see in the picture he was swaddled up in my it's kind of like a towel robe-ish thing. I don't know. I mean, I got it a long time ago, and it was still hanging on my bathroom door. So that was what I grabbed to go get the owl. But I was scared to put him in a big box because I didn't want him flapping around and hurting that wing even worse. So we kept him in the burrito of the towel, and we put him in my cat carrier. So we took the cat carrier. I was going to take it, but her and my grandson ended up being awake Friday morning before I left. So they went with me. We took the bird up to I think it was Carolina Wildlife. I have the card, but it's sitting in there on my kitchen table. But anyway, it was a great horned owl, and it is beautiful. He was so docile. I'm telling you, he never pecked at me. He didn't try to claw me. He stayed nestled up against my chest. His back was against my chest, and I was holding him like this. So he was looking out. And maybe that was what was reassuring, because he was just looking around, and then little slow blinks of them beautiful eyes. Oh my gosh. Now, I think owls are majestic. I do. I love owls. But he was so docile. And my daughter-in-law was like, I'm not going to, because she didn't want to pick him up, because she didn't want to get clawed or bit and everything. And I didn't either. But I knew that once I used the towel, he wasn't going to hurt me, Just similar to if you try to bathe a cat, put him in a towel before you put him in there so you don't get scratched to death. Ask me how I know. But anyway, so we took him to, well, I say him, but we took him to the rescue. I don't really know what it is, but they thanked us for picking him up and bringing him up there. Now, this was 12 hours after he had gotten ripped out of that grill. Not only did he get ripped out of the grill, he got hit and then got ripped out of the grill. And they couldn't believe the guy had just thrown him off on the side of the road. And we're just lucky. It was, the exit is a half mile down our road and then a half mile down the main road. So it's a mile away. I'm just glad that he didn't flop around and get in the road and get hit. But I don't know if I hold out hope, because the girl, when at the intake, the girl that does the intake stuff, she's like, I can't promise anything. I said, well, he's been in pain for 12 hours now. Can you give him something to ease that? And she said, yeah, we're going to go ahead and give him some pain relief now. But I don't know that he's going to make it, because he must have been in worse shape. There was no blood. But you think about a bird's body, even a big, magnificent creature like an owl. It's so easy. And I don't know if the guy hit him on I-20 or if he hit him along the off-ramp. So I don't know how fast this man was going. I do know that he shouldn't have brutalized that animal by ripping it out and then just tossing it to the side. Like I said, I'm still mad about that. I have empathy for any hurt critter. Any hurt critter. So that was my excitement. And Friday, as you know, well, most of you, if you've been with me for a minute, it's my grandson's Friday fun day. So if he's done good with his homeschooling all week, they do homeschool in the morning, and then, sometimes, like on Fridays, sometimes she'll split it up. She'll do half of his homeschooling in the morning and then half of it when we get home in the afternoon. So it's kind of like just a field trip type thing. We don't use it. She doesn't use it as counting as schooling time. It's just like the Friday fun day. That sums it all up. We go to the library. He picks out books. He plays in the little area with the Legos and stuff like that. And then sometimes, now we didn't do this Friday because it was 40 degrees. No, it's 35 degrees. No, it was almost 40. It was like 39 to 40 degrees. So we didn't do that Friday because we told him it was just entirely too cold. He's like, well, I have a jacket. I have a hoodie. And we're like, baby, the metal on that playground is going to be ice cold. You don't want to do that. So we didn't get back from Columbia until, I want to say, almost 1 o'clock. And we left at 9. But we did, when we got home, she dropped me off. No, I dropped her off because we took my husband's truck. I dropped her off. Come back up here, did a couple things, and then she come and picked me up, and then we went to do Friday Fun Day for the baby. Well, we didn't get home till like 6 o'clock Friday. And I was, y'all, I'm not kidding. When I say I was exhausted, I know I told y'all that my left leg kind of stutters sometimes and it just doesn't listen and it drags. Well, it also, my hip hasn't been the same since all of this. It's a pain, but I don't know if it's muscular or neurological or what it is. But, I don't think it's the joint, but the left hip hurts a lot, especially if I'm in the truck, because it's like, it's a weird position that I sit. Anyway, so that's why I got her to drive when we went to town, because I was like, yeah, I'm done driving. And I think it's because my body is a little tenser right now, because I haven't been driving again very long, so my body's a little bit more tense, and I think that's a lot to do with it. And then we proceeded to walk around 2 different antique malls, which the first one was a bust. They took the antique idea really to the next level, and prices were astronomically too high for what they were. The second one, the prices were still relatively up there to a degree, but it wasn't, you could tell these were real true antiques. So after we did all the library fun stuff, but wow, y'all, I still can't get over. It's pretty out there. I mean, yes, it's overcast and all, but that little bit of snow on the ground, I mean, yeah, I still see some patches of grass. And I don't have, like, snow-covered trees, but it's mesmerizing to a girl who don't get to see it very often. I was looking at my laptop there. I was going to try to pull something up, but I'm not even going to worry about it. So anyway, squirrel moments. Y'all know me. When I got home Friday night, me and my daughter-in-law, I'm like, yeah, no. And I wanted the boys to open their gifts because January 31st is the deadline to return anything that you bought during Christmas or January for returns. So I wanted to make sure the boys didn't want me to return any of their gifts and get them something different. It was more of a size issue. That was why I was wanting them to go ahead and open it Friday. Because yesterday, my other son was not going to be home. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and get this done. So by the time all that was done, it was almost 8 o'clock. Oh, and they did like the red velvet. They said it was a little bit dry, which I expected that there might be some issues because I took a recipe for a 3-layer cake and put it in a bundt pan. And I've never done that with that recipe, so I didn't know how long I was going to cook it. I just kept checking it. And a 5-minute difference. I should have done 40 minutes instead of 45. But when I checked it at 35, there was still some stuff coming off of my toothpick. So I was like, 10 more minutes. I should have did 5. So, lesson learned. They're still eating it. They enjoy it. And I love making things from scratch for my kids. I always have. I've always made their birthday cakes from the time their first birthday. So, I did not do any knitting with the new needles that Amazon did deliver to me Friday. I didn't do that till yesterday morning. And I probably spent a good 2 hours. And I only have that much. Maybe about that much. Y'all will see Wednesday. But, see, I had already cast it on, so technically it was a legitimate. I didn't have to do any work yesterday, but I wanted to get a little bit further because the only thing I had done, because the Main Street tee is a front and back panels. You don't do it. It's, you have to seam it. It's not a all-in-one, what do they call them? Is it seamless? It's not in the round. That's what I was trying to say. I'm so sorry, y'all. Let me drink some more of this caffeine. Because I am really, really getting tired. And the more I'm looking out there, the more I want to go get in my recliner. Which I'm going to do that after we finish doing our little hanging out. But I did the cast on and then the 6 rows of garter stitch because that's my on the front piece. Now I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cast on the back piece and do my 6 rows of garter since those needles are now free, because I had to use a 3.5 to do the cast on and then the 6 rows of garter, and then I had to go to a 3.75 for the body. Well, I had a 3.75, but my cat ran off with it. I'll tell you more about that the other day. The next video. But anyway, because I'm trying to get off here. I've been yapping and I finished showing y'all for all this, but the only problem is because I wanted to do an even. I thought it was in the round. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a seamless in the round construction because that's the search methods. That's the search requirements I put in on Ravelry. Well, I didn't think to check behind Ravelry's system. I should have, but once I got to looking at the pattern, the more I still wanted it because it has short rows on the bottom, so it hugs you as it's coming down, and then it flares out a little bit for your hips, so it's a little bit more tailored, or almost like a princess cut look. And I like that. I mean, I like my big comfy shirts, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I want something a little bit more closer to the body, to where it looks a little bit dressier, because as comfy as this is, and I live in mostly oversized. I have always lived in oversized clothes, but that's my comfy clothes. If I want to look a little bit more put together for a certain occasion or something, I want something a little bit nicer, a little bit more form-fitting, to where it looks like, how do I say that? So it looks just a little bit better in my mind. We're going to leave it at that. And so I thought, okay, what if I modify it and cast on the 2 hems and then seam them together? But the only problem is I didn't know if I wanted to do short rows, or how I would do short rows in the round to the front and the back at the same time. So I was like, you know what? I can't do this. So I'm just going to leave it as a seamed garment. Anyway, that's probably going to all be repeated a little bit for Wednesday's video. If it is, I'm sorry. But I will keep it short and sweet on that. Anyway, so I thought, okay, well, what if I do this? What if I just do the back and front together? And I'm going to have different balls of yarn supplying each one. But, okay, I'm getting more in-depth into this. I need to talk about this on that. So we're just going to stay tuned for all that fun stuff Wednesday. We're just going to say that because I'm sitting here looking at this clock. I'm ready to get off of here because chatting videos don't go over well. Let me rephrase that. For my people, the chatting videos go over fine. Y'all know me. You still hang with me. But when my videos, it's weird how YouTube does it. If my last video doesn't do very well, it doesn't put it out to as many people on the next one. So I am still trying to grow the channel, and I do want to get it in front of more people. So it is that. Now, Wednesday we'll have the knitting stuff. It'll have the stash busting stuff. It'll have the 12 cast on knitting stuff, and then the stash busting 2026 stuff. Friday, I wanted to have these other totes done, but I won't have the purple straps by then. So, all right. So Friday, and I'm looking up at some fabric. Yeah, I think Friday's going to be a little bit more sewing. Okay, just to warn you. But I would love y'all's input. So before you knock out Friday's video out of your mind to watch, come up here. Come back to me Friday. Well, come back to me Wednesday, but make sure you come back Friday because there's some cloth, there's some fabrics that I want to try out. Yeah, I definitely want to try out some more fabrics. Oh, because you know what? When I was thrifting, and even, you know, I wasn't looking for it in antique malls because, you know, they're not going to have it. But do you know there's no actual fabric in most thrift stores around here? My daughter-in-law and I are going to do some in Columbia. And then we're going to try to, you know, look at some thrift stores up there. But they didn't have any yarn. None of the thrift stores, you know, when I showed y'all my thrift store finds, none of those had yarn. And we don't have a creative reuse store around here. The nearest one we have is Charleston and Savannah. Both of them are an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So what am I going to do with that? But I did tell her, I was like, you know, if we do make a day trip to the beach over the summer, because me and her do have plans for that, with or without the men. We have stood our ground. We're going to take day trips to the beach. Whether it is Charleston or Savannah. Or both of them. So we might get to be able to do some creative reuse stores. And y'all, I like that snow. But I also like the beach. But her and I are making plans. We're making other plans too. And hopefully pretty soon I can talk to y'all about it. But we'll see. But I'm waiting on the go-ahead from her. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go sit in my recliner and relax. And kind of enjoy my snow days. Because tomorrow when you're watching this, actually I don't think I have anything planned. Because my husband's next doctor's appointment isn't till the end of the week, I think. So I might get lucky. I might not have anything to do tomorrow or today in your world, but I might be able to sit there and knit and crochet again. Because, like I said, I'm at a standstill with the sewing, so yes, I'm being silly. But anyway, I'm going to get off here because I'm kind of cold. And I'm going to go snuggle up. My kittens are probably very, very mad at me. They loved it yesterday when I was in there knitting for so long in the morning. They're like, ooh, our bed is here. And I say that, but they don't wait on me just to be sitting down. I could be walking through the house and they're meow, meow. And they'll wind themselves around my legs. And y'all, my Skittles did this. When I would reach down and ask her if she wanted to be picked up, she would raise, and my Skittles was a fat little girl, but she would raise her little arms up like, yeah, pick me up. And the kittens are starting to do that because they're so used to me picking them up. And I will pick a kitten up like a baby. You know, I'll grab them up under those the front legs and pick them up and put them on. But having brother and sister, twins essentially, takes me back to when the boys were little, because I can't just pick up one kitten. The other one will get so mad at me, so I will literally have to pick them both up, and I have to pick them up under their bodies at that point and hold them like this. And they'll start kissing on me and rubbing my ears and rubbing my neck and burying their face in my hair, and I'm like, if you're not a cat person, that's okay. But I'm so a cat person. And those babies just, since I lost Skittles, it was two months before those babies were born. And it was another, probably, it was 3 months after I lost Skittles, before I ever got to touch those kittens, because I couldn't go walk up and down, you know, my daughter-in-law and my son's stairs. In fact, I think they were about 6 weeks old. I got them when they were 8 weeks old, and I think they were about 6 weeks old the first time I got to hold them. And they were born on Halloween. So, yeah, well, about 3.5 months then. But they have done a lot for me. Getting the use of my arm and my leg back has done a lot too, but I'm going to get off here. I keep burping and I'm trying not to do it really, really super loud, but I will see y'all Wednesday. In the meantime, take care of yourself, stay warm, and if you are still without power from last weekend's hot mess that the United States was going through, bless you. Do your best to stay warm, get you some food. We ended up spending, when Helene hit, I think we ended up $300, maybe $350 investing in a generator. We didn't really have it. We used our credit card to buy it, but that thing's a blessing. I will not be unprepared again. I will not, because I can rough it and I can do it, but I was scared. I had a freezer full of meat. I had a refrigerator freezer combo that was stocked full of food, and I like I told my husband, it's going to cost us more than the price of the generator in food that we lose. So, and plus it helped, you know, having a little bit of a convenience, like, you know, fans, because this was in August. It was hot as heck. But to be able to have a heater at this time of year, yeah, that would really be worth it to me. But anyway, I'm finished talking, I promise. Find you some joy today, tomorrow. Hold on to it, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you then. Bye.